channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Andy, sometimes Mouse, and I talk about books and book-related things, and today I am giving you my Clear Your Shit TBR Part 2 for December. Now, before anyone notices that the outfit is the same, it's because I'm filming it on the same day. That's the one bonus of this being a 2-month-long readathon. I can go ahead and get my TBRs for both months done in one day. Anyway. As I did in the in the first part of this TBR, I will be including the prompt down below, and I will also be verbally saying it. If I am referencing a prompt that is a surprise, I will not be telling you what prompt I am following exactly, but I will tell you the book that I am reading for it. And also, this is predominantly books I own, audiobooks I need to listen to, series I'm continuing, and advanced reader copies that I have not read yet. And need to, because I've been letting that fall behind. I'm at like 15 right now, which is, I used to never let it get above 10, so it's like a lot, right? Okay, let's get this show on the road. So, for a book with a green cover or with leaves on the cover, I will be reading This Vicious Grace by Emily Theed. I picked this up at Barnes & Noble during the summer to potentially read on my road trip to Georgia, and I ended up actually not reading it. I ended up reading a different book that I'm actually still having on this TBR because I still haven't finished it. 3 weddings, 3 funerals. Alessa's gift from the gods is supposed to magnify a partner's magic, not kill every suitor she touches. Now, with only weeks left until a hungry swarm of demons devours everything on her island home, Alessa is running out of time to find a partner and stop the invasion. When a powerful priest convinces the faithful that killing Alessa is the island's only hope, her own soldiers try to assassinate her. Desperate to survive, Alessa hires Dante, a cynical outcast marked as a killer, to become her personal bodyguard. But as rebellion explodes outside the gates, Dante's dark secrets may be the biggest betrayal. He holds the keys to her survival and her heart, but is he the one person who can help her master her gift or destroy her once and for all? I 100% picked this book up originally at Barnes & Noble because this is gorgeous. So simple, but so gorgeous. Anyway, definitely why I picked this up. No chill. Also, we have leaves on the inside, so we've got leaves on the cover, and it's green, and we have leaves on the inside. I really mastered this prompt here. Next, we have for the next mini boss battle, which is a surprise, which I will not be divulging what prompt I am using. It is about the weaknesses. But anyway. Pieces of Me by Kate McLaughlin. This is an advanced reader copy. When 18-year-old Dylan wakes up, she's in an apartment she doesn't recognize. The other people there seem to know her, but she doesn't know them. Not even the pretty, chiseled boy who tells her his name is Connor. A voice inside her head keeps saying that everything is okay, but Dylan can't help but freak out, especially when she borrows Connor's phone to call home and realizes she's been missing for 3 days. Dylan has lost time before, but never like this. Soon after, Dylan is diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder and must grapple not only with the many people currently crammed inside her head, but that a secret from her past so terrible she's blocked it out has put them there. Her only distraction is a budding new relationship with Connor, but as she gets closer to finding out the truth, Dylan wonders, will it heal her or fracture her further? Who knows? I like Kate McLaughlin's writing. I have read other things by Kate McLaughlin that hurt my feelings deeply, so I expect this to do similarly. And you know, it's interesting, I don't like contemporary books very often, but I am excited to read this one. I have high hopes, which I shouldn't do, but I have high hopes. Next, we have a free book space, and I will be reading Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. This is a reread in order to continue the series. A Deadly Education is set at Scholomance, a school for the magically gifted where failure means certain death, for real. Until one girl, Elle, begins to unlock its many secrets. There are no teachers, no holidays, and no friendships, save strategic ones. Survival is more important than any letter grade, for the school won't allow its students to leave until they graduate or die. The rules are deceptively simple. Don't walk the halls alone, and beware of the monsters who lurk everywhere. Elle is uniquely prepared for the school's dangers. She may be without allies, but she possesses a dark power strong enough to level mountains and wipe out millions. It would be easy enough for Elle to defeat the monsters that prowl the school. The problem? Her powerful dark magic might also kill all the other students. I like Elle. I like the way that they talk. I like the way that their attitude. I like that they're like an unlikable main character. So I'm excited to continue to read this series. I have heard really good things about the last book, so. Then we have All the Broken Girls by Linda Hurtado Bond, which is one that I physically own. As I said in the previous video, I have been buying these little thriller books for like $6, $7 at the grocery store. For some reason, they're really fun, quick reads. This is for a book you keep forgetting is on your TBR, because I did buy this a while back and it has just sat on my side table in the living room for days. Crime reporter Mari Alvarez was never able to solve her mother's murder 10 years ago, but when a woman is gunned down on the doorstep of her West Tampa neighborhood, Mari can't shake the eerie sense of connection. Now there's been 2 murders in 2 days, each crime scene awash with arcane clues and without a trace of DNA from the killer. And for each victim, a doll. The first is missing an eye, the second missing a heart, but are these clues leading to the killer or messages for Mari? Caught up in the maelstrom of old world superstition, secrets, and ties to her own past, Mari has only one option. Put the puzzle together before someone else dies, even if it destroys her career. But there's no escaping the hungry spider's web when it's been made just for you. Dun, dun, dun. Anyway, next we have a book featuring tech or robots, which I will be reading Arch Conspirator by Veronica Roth. I don't know if this features any of those things, but it seemed like it would since it's sci-fi, so I feel like it counts. Outside the last city on Earth, the planet is a wasteland without the archive where the genes of the dead are stored. Humanity will end. I would say that's a robot. Passing into the archive should be a cause for celebration, but Antigone's parents were murdered, leaving her father's throne vacant. As her militant uncle Creon rises to claim it, all Antigons feel is rage. When he welcomes her and her siblings into his mansions, Antigone sees it for what it really is, a gilded cage, where she is captive as well as a guest. But her uncle will soon learn that no cage is unbreakable, and neither is he. That gender swap there made my brain, After that, I will be reading The Last Graduate by Naomi Novik for the prompt, a book set on another planet. Does that count as another planet? I'm going to say that it counts as another planet. I will also preface and say, when I am talking about series continuations, I generally don't explain the second or third book because I don't want to spoil anything, and sometimes those summaries can spoil things, so I'm just going to go ahead and move on to my next book pick, which is The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake, and I will be reading that for a book that looks or was expensive. I was kind of conflicted between this one and The Deadly Education, but because I'm trying to try and read them in order, this is what worked out for me. The Alexandrian Society is a secret society of magical academicians, that's a word, the best in the world. Their members are caretakers of lost knowledge from the greatest civilizations of antiquity, and those who earn a place among their number will secure a life of wealth, power, and prestige beyond their wildest dreams. Each decade, the world's 6 most uniquely talented magicians are selected for initiation, and here are the chosen few. Libby Rhodes and Nicholas Ferrer de Verona, inseparable enemies, cosmologists who can control matter with their minds. Reina Mori, a naturalist who can speak the language of life itself. Parisa Kamali, a mind reader whose powers of seduction are unmatched. Tristan Kane, the son of a crime kingpin who can see the secrets of the universe. Callum Nova, an insanely rich pretty boy who could bring about the end of the world. He need only ask. When the candidates are recruited by the mysterious Atlas Blakely, they are told they must spend 1 year together to qualify for initiation. During this time, they will be permitted access to the Society's archives and judged on their contribution to the arcane areas of knowledge. 5, they are told, will be initiated. 1 will be eliminated. If they can prove themselves to be the best, they will survive. Most of them. I've read this before. This is just going to be a reread for preparation for the next book. After that, I will be reading The Golden Enclaves by Naomi Novik. It is for the prompt continuous series, and it is the 3rd and I believe final book in the Scholomance trilogy. I believe it's a trilogy, which would be The Deadly Education and The Last Graduate. And after that, I will be reading The Atlas Paradox by Olivia Blake. See Atlas 6. It is the sequel to See Atlas 6. I am putting it for a book with found family. Do I think it's found family? Yes and no. If it was like a really fucked up found family, that would be them. So I'm counting it. I'm going to say that it counts. And again, not going to further explain. And then for the next prompt, a book with a dark cover, I'll be reading my advanced reader copy of What Have We Done by Alex Finlay. It is another thriller book, so I'm reading a ton of thrillers this year, thriller or horror at the end of the year here. 25 years ago, Jenna, Donnie, and Nico were the best of friends, a bond forged as residents of Savior House, an abusive group home for parentless teens. When the home was shut down after the disappearance of several kids, the 3 were split up. Though the trauma of their childhood has never left them, each went on to live successful, if troubled, lives. They haven't seen one another since they were teens, but now are reunited for a single haunting reason. Someone is trying to kill them. To save their lives, the group will have to revisit the nightmares of their childhood home and confront their past, a past that holds the secrets as to why someone wants them dead. It's a reunion none of them asked for or wanted, but it may be the only way to save all their lives. I like Alex Finlay's writing, so I'm very excited about reading this one. Next we have The Replacement Wife by Darby Kane. I have wanted to read Darby Kane's books for a while. I've had her books saved with Libby for some time. So when I saw this on sale at Walmart, I picked it up. Have not read it yet, obviously, so I thought, perfect for the prompt, a book with a supposed twist. So, Alyssa Wright is a mom and a wife living in a nice quiet life in a nice quiet town. She's also convinced her brother-in-law is a murderer. Josh has one dead wife and one missing fiancé, and though he grieves for them, he starts dating someone new. Alyssa fears for that woman's safety, and she desperately wants to know what happened to her friend, Josh's missing fiancé. I hate the gendered, who cares? Searching for clues means investigating her own family, and she doesn't like what she finds. A laptop filled with incriminating information, other women. But when Alyssa becomes friends with Josh's new girlfriend and starts to question things she thinks are true, Alyssa wonders if the memories of a horrible incident a year ago have finally pushed her over the edge and Josh is really innocent. With so much at stake, she fights off panic attacks and a strange illness. Is it a breakdown or something more? The race is on to get to the truth before another disappearance because there's a killer in the family. Or is there? If this is good, I'm going to pick up Pretty Little Wife, which is another book by this author. I do love I love and hate domestic thrillers. Anyway, next up we have a fast-paced or short book, and I will be reading Things Have Gotten Worse by Eric LaRocca. This is actually a collection of 3 different stories, as well as including Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke. So this is Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke and Other Stories. It took 2 days for Amazon, two attempted orders for Amazon to get this to me. The first time I ordered it, they just threw it on a random sidewalk and it was never to be found. So that's great. I love that. I do. The 3 stories are a whirlpool of darkness churns at the heart of a macabre ballet between 2 lonely women in an internet chat room in the early 2000s, a darkness that threatens to forever transform them once they finally succumb to their most horrific desires. Now that is the story that caused me to repeatedly ask people, what have you done today to deserve your eyes? Which is still something that I do and still freaks out my husband. A couple isolate themselves on a remote island in an attempt to recover from their teenage son's death when a mysterious young man knocks on their door during a storm. And a man confronts his neighbor when he discovers a strange object in his backyard, only to be drawn into an even more dangerous game. I also like that the end is 3 devastating, beautifully written horror stories from one of the genre's most cutting-edge voices. Agree. But then the last sentence is, what have you done today to deserve your eyes? That's my favorite line, so of course it's included. I think the cover's beautiful and I'm really excited to be reading it. Next up, for my free book space, I will be reading The Buried and the Bound by Rochelle Hassan, which is an advanced reader copy. As the only hedge witch in Blackthorn, Massachusetts, an uncommonly magical place, Aziza Al-Amin has bargained with wood nymphs, rescued palm-sized fairies from house cats, banished flesh-eating shadows from the local park. But when a dark entity awakens in the forest outside of town, eroding the invisible boundary between the human world and fairyland, run-of-the-mill fey mischief turns into outright aggression, and the danger to herself and others becomes too great for her to handle alone. Leo Merritt is no stranger to magical catastrophes. On his 16th birthday, a dormant curse kicked in and ripped away all of his memories of his true love. A miserable year has passed since then. He's road-tripped up and down the East Coast looking for ways to get his memories back, and hit one dead end after another. He doesn't even know his true love's name, but he feels the absence in his life, and it's haunting. Desperate for answers, he makes a pact with Aziza. He'll provide much-needed backup on her nightly patrols, and, in exchange, she'll help him break the curse. When the creature in the woods sets its sights on him, their survival depends on the aid of a mysterious young necromancer they're not certain they can trust, but they'll have to work together to eradicate the new threat and to take back their hometown, even if it forces them to uncover deeply buried secrets and make devastating sacrifices. And then for my last physical book of my TBR, and this is for the surprise prompt for the boss battle, the very final boss battle, even though there's 2 more surprise prompts after this. I will not be, it's obviously the weapon, the boss battle is always your weapon choice, but I will not be explaining what this prompt is specifically for. And that is going to be The Body Keeps Score by Bessel van der Kolk, doctor. This is a book on trauma and the way that it physically affects the body. I'm actually halfway through it-ish, more or less, which is why there's these weird tabs. I'm about halfway through it. I've been reading it off and on since August, but I really need a motivation to hunker down and finish the book out. And so this is going to be, that motivation is going to be clear your shit, because again, I'm almost done and a lot of the pages here are graphs and information. I do not support this man, and I was given this book, so I am excited to read it, but I will say that this person is a horrible person and you should do your own research to determine why and that kind of thing. I also don't know how much YouTube would even let me talk about, but not that I've ever really had a problem with that, but just in case. But I just want to give those fair warnings. There are other books that talk about the same things that are written by other people that may be better. I don't know. This one, again, I have it, so I'm going to read it. And it has been interesting so far. So that's the last of my physical books. For my note to myself says what the prompt is, and then it says, this is a surprise, don't say it out loud. So great. And it's for the prompt where you pick a prompt from another boss battle, so I know what I picked. I didn't even say what I picked, so I don't know what I was talking about, but anyway. I will be reading The Haunting of Alejandra by V. Castro. Alejandra no longer knows who she is. To her husband, she is a wife, and to her children, she is a mother. To her own adoptive mother, she is a daughter. But they cannot see who Alejandra has become, a woman struggling with a darkness that threatens to consume her. Nor can they see what Alejandra sees. In times of despair, a ghostly vision appears to her, the apparition of a crying woman in a ragged white gown. When Alejandra visits a therapist, she begins exploring her family's history, starting with the biological mother she never knew. As she goes deeper into the lives of the women in her family, she learns that the heartbreak and tragedy are not the only things that she has in common with her ancestors. Because the crying woman was with them too. She is La Llorona, the vengeful and murderous mother of Mexican legend, and she will not leave until Alejandra follows her mother, her grandmother, and all the women who came before her into the darkness. But Alejandra has inherited more than just pain. She has inherited the strength and the courage of her foremothers, and she will have to summon everything they have given her to banish La Llorona forever. I have concerns that this is listed as horror and it is going to be contemporary, but I also love talking about mother wounds, so we are gonna see. We're gonna see what happens with that. Anyway. And for the other surprise prompt that I cannot give you more information on, I will be reading Parasite by Mira Grant. This is the last book on the TBR. Mira Grant is Seanan McGuire's pen name, and she often writes under that name for horror specifically, so whatever, this has been one that's been on my radar for quite some time and I just haven't had a chance to read it yet, so I'm really excited about it. A decade in the future, humanity thrives in the absence of sickness and disease. We owe our good health to a humble parasite, a genetically engineered tapeworm developed by the pioneering Symbogem Corporation. When implanted, the tapeworm protects us from illness, boosts our immune system, even secretes designer drugs. It's been successful beyond the scientists' wildest dreams. Now, years on, almost every human being has a Symbogem tapeworm living within them. But these parasites are getting restless. They want their own lives and will do anything to get them, which is exciting. I like parasite horror because it's definitely going to be body horror, and I love that. I love body horror. It's definitely my favorite horror subgenre. And that's it. Those are all of my books for my December TBR, for my Clear Your Shit TBR. I've now covered all of the prompts and all of the things. I hope that so far we're a month into Clear Your Shit by the time this video goes up. I hope that you guys are enjoying it. I hope that you're having as much fun as I do putting this together and like seeing you guys' responses and then responding as narrator. I hope that you guys are having a good time. I am. I'm always having a good time with Clear Your Shit. Even when I seem frustrated, I'm having a good time. If you are reading any of these books or for the same prompts as me, or you're reading them for a completely different prompt that you applied them to, let me know in the comments down below. I really appreciate knowing. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and share. If you didn't enjoy this video, please let me know in the comments down below how I can make it better for you, unless it has to do with my opinion, and then in which case I cannot help you. I post videos every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. So I will see you guys again on Thursday. Don't forget to take your water. Don't forget to drink your water, take your meds, and do something today to take care of yourselves, like maybe reading some books off of your Clear Your Shit TBR. I don't know, just a thought. Okay, thanks, bye.